Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on This Is Just the Beginning. I hope you're well, I hope you've had a good week, and I really hope you've not been ill like I have. I meant to do a podcast episode yesterday, so I'm so sorry it's a day late, and maybe you can tell in my voice I've still got a bit of a cough, a bit of a sore throat. I came back from work early today. I was meant to go in the office all week, and I finally went in today, and halfway through the day I just thought, I can't be here. Let me just go home and work in my bed, so that's what I've been doing. I'm feeling a bit better than I did earlier today, but I'm still a bit ill, so I do apologise if my voice is a little bit croaky, a little bit not with it today. But other than that, I'm feeling great. Although, you know, when you're in school and there's so much drama all the time, well, maybe you weren't in the drama. I was always part of the drama because you could say I like to be in drama. I don't always cause it. I don't go out there and cause drama like some people do. Like, they seek drama, they want drama. I'm just always around drama, and being at uni, being at home, whatever, like, since high school, I've not been in any drama. I mean, you're not at uni, are you? Like, there's no drama. Well, recently I've been part of a big drama, and it's just drained my energy because I just think I used to actually enjoy this. Or not enjoy it when it was like I was in the middle of it and it was hurting me, but I still was like, oh, I'm the centre of attention. Now I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want drama. I don't want people, again, thinking that I'm this dramatic person. And again, it's not like, oh, I care what people think. Well, that, of course you care what people think. But I just don't want people to remember me back at school, you know? But this is with a completely different group of friends. And there was just loads of drama over this big party we had over the weekend. And I came home and I was like, so drained from it, because again, being drained from being around so many different people was the main thing, but also I was hungover, I was ill, and then this whole drama kicked off, and it was not my fault for once. I was just in the middle of it and I hated it. So yeah, it just makes me think I hate drama. But that kind of leads me on to today's episode, and as you can see from the title, it's all about letting things go, and especially letting people go. And this isn't about this person who the drama was involved with. So if you're listening to this is not about you. Sorry, but it's not about you, but it just kind of sparked this idea in me. And this episode is going to relate a lot to breakups in particular, and kind of best friend breakups. Those are two things that I've been going through recently, the last couple months. So I thought it'd be very apt to kind of just do now that I'm kind of over everything, to do a kind of summary of why letting things go, and letting people go in particular, is so good for you, and that you should really seek to do it. I've spoken a lot about in your self-love journey, self-discovery, self-improvement. You do have a period of time in it when you do isolate yourself because you want to work on yourself, and that's kind of not at the start of your journey, but after a few months, 6 months, whatever, however long it is. Again, it's different for everyone, but you kind of get to this point where you're like, wait, I need to do this on my own. And doing that really shows you who your friends are, who you're, like, if you've got a boyfriend, girlfriend, or whoever, like, if they're good for you, your family. It really shows you who you actually want in your life, those people who let you have that time off and let you kind of have those boundaries and set those boundaries and just be okay on your own, and, well, try and figure out if you are okay on your own and work out why you are the way you are, why you're in pain, all of that kind of thing. And that's why I love the isolation journey, because I do like being alone. But I'm kind of like, I'm either, I love partying, I'm a social butterfly, or I just love being alone. Like, but then I'm either one or the other. From having my me day, I cannot have people. If someone texts me saying, do you want to go out? I'm like, absolutely not. I'm in that mood, I have to have that time on my own. Whereas if I'm partying, I can't have me time. Like, I cannot be not around people. Yeah, if you know what I mean, it's either one or the other. It's mainly being social at the moment, but I do like that, and I'm still trying to get into the kind of productivity stage, but you know, we're still working on that. But so in your kind of self-discovery stage, you are going to have this period of isolation, and that's what you need in order to work through that last painful bit and really work out who you want to be, why you are the way you are now, and kind of, you know what I mean, like, set goals towards things. And you can't be doing that if you've got dead weight in your life. That's the harsh truth. You know, there's people that just no longer serve you. There's people that you used to be best friends when you were kids, and you just kind of fake that friendship your whole life, or you just realise they're not actually ever there for me. And this all comes from a lot of, like, shadow work and journal prompts and, like, just deep thinking. Like, this is what this period's for. That's why it's good to do it if you're at uni. It's good to kind of do your journey now and not get it out of the way, but when you're working and when you have to be around people when you're older, it is a lot harder. And I definitely found it useful. I started this the end of first year, and I'm starting it back up now. I mean, I have a job now, I am a lot busier, but it it does help that I'm living at home and I'm not around people all the time. I only choose to be around people. With work, I'm around people, but I'm sat at a desk for most of the day having a bit of conversation. It's not the same thing as being at uni all the time, talking to people. So I am definitely on my self-love journey again now, and I just love it. I love every aspect of it. And I even love the fact that comparing it to my last kind of self-discovery journey was my pseudo recovery phase, when I thought it meant I've got to be like healthy and clean eating, working out all the time, like all these kind of more physical aspects of it. But now I'm thinking, no, because what if for a whole week I just don't want to work out, I just want to journal, I just want to be okay on my own, and again keep challenging the idea of not having to work out all the time. But that is going away from the point of this episode, and let's get straight into it. I'm going to start with a quote that I heard from the On Purpose podcast by Jay Shetty, and he interviewed James Corden, and I've actually not listened to the whole podcast episode. I saw this snippet on TikTok literally yesterday, and I thought, I was trying to work out a podcast, like an episode kind of theme, and then this jumped out at me, and I was like, this is incredible, I'm gonna do this. Bearing in mind I was ill and I was just scrolling on TikTok all day yesterday, but this quote really defines why letting things go is so important. I don't think I'm gonna say it as well as he did. And can I just quickly say that I'm not a fan of James Corden. So when I saw like his face pop up on my feed, I was like, gonna scroll past, but then actually listen to what he had to say, and this was so magical hearing about it, and you'll see why. So he's talking about letting things go, and he gave this metaphor of a kid with a balloon. And if you loved balloons when you were a kid, if not, just listen to the metaphor, okay? So you're a kid with a balloon, and in the past you've let a balloon go before because you didn't hold on tight enough. So you say, I'm going to hold on to this balloon, I'm never going to let it go. You go so far as tying it to your wrist, and you're holding on to it for the whole day. 2 days you sleep with this balloon, and I'm sure a lot of you have done this, possibly. I never did, but I'm sure some people did do this. I was terrified of clowns, and balloons and clowns tended to go together, so I never did this. But, you've got this balloon and you want to hold on to it so tightly. Sooner or later, the balloon starts to wilt, it starts to deflate, and it's getting floppy, it's not as high in the sky anymore, but you're still holding on to this balloon. When actually, there's something so magical about letting this balloon go. And I said magical before I said this quote, and it is magical. You let a balloon go, or those Chinese lanterns on like the light nights, those kind of things. It's so magical just seeing this balloon just float up into the air. And when that balloon goes, you can then go get another balloon. You might get one that's shinier, bigger, better, a different shape, a different colour. And there's something so, again, magical about being able to go get another one, and another one, and another one. And this quote kind of just reiterates the fact that you have got to be able to let go of stuff, people in your life, to make new things come into your life. It's up to you to decide whether or not you want to stay where you are in the same place. And I think this definitely has two meanings to this quote. One is that kind of a deeper one with, if you keep holding on to things that aren't lasting and aren't going to last, and it's not going to last, this balloon is not going to stay up forever, and you're holding on to that until it does just wilt and it's just dying next to you, and that's when you decide to let it go and you decide to cut it off and put it in the bin. And then that's so much harder to do because you've wasted all this time with a balloon and you've not let it go free, you've not given it another life, I suppose. And that's the one meaning with that. And it's kind of like, so maybe in a relationship, and this was very similar to me in my relationship, this is why I can talk about this. You hold on to it for so long because you think it's going to get better, you don't think it's going to end up in the shitter, basically. And you keep holding on, even though you should let it go. And eventually it gets to a point where you cannot carry on anymore. I cannot be holding on to this balloon anymore. And you have to cut it off, you've got to put it in the bin, you've got to turn back, you've got to let it go. And if you had spoken about that, a few months before, many months before in my case, almost a year before in my case actually, then you might not have got to that place and the balloon might still be high in the sky, or you might have got a different balloon, but with the same balloon, but maybe you've just pumped it up a little bit more, And I think this metaphor kind of sounds a little bit cringe, maybe a bit too cringe, but I really do like it. And it's like, that's the one side of it that I do like, how that is a bit of a deeper meaning, that you can't put so much energy into this person, into this thing you have in your life, because it's not going to work out, it's not going to go on forever. And that's the same with relationships. I mean, On the other hand, obviously some relationships last and you want your relationship to last. So maybe every now and again you've got to take the balloon off, put some more helium in it or whatever you're using to fill it up, blow it up a bit more and it will stay up. You know, you've got to take care of your balloon. You've got to keep addressing it. You've got to keep communicating in a relationship is another example of that. The other meaning of it, which I think is the more clearer meaning, I think, and this was the one that James went on about in the podcast, is you've got to be able to let go of stuff in order to make room for other things in your life. So he's talking about it with, if you let one balloon go, you can let another one back in. And it's kind of saying by holding on to this one thing, like, you know, and you're thinking about, if I'm going to make it simple for you, but you're thinking about this one thing in your head all the time and you're not letting anything else come into your head. And this is often the case with, I don't know, like high achievers. You've got this one exam coming up and you're not going to think about anything else. Then you might fail something else because you've forgotten about that because you're too focused on your like music exam and you forgot you've got a pop quiz tomorrow, you know? And then you beat yourself up over that. But it's all about you've got to make room for new things in your life. On the note that, not about letting other things go, but you've always got to, maybe let some dead things go in order to make room for new things. It's a continual process. It's not just the one balloon, but again, that's the metaphor. But you've got to be able to learn to let things go in order to accept new, better, more exciting things into your life. Because if you keep holding on to the same thing, staying in your comfort zone, and then this is the kind of whole point of it, if you're staying in your comfort zone and not letting this go, then you're never going to move out your comfort zone, and you're just going to get sadder and sadder about it, and you're going to keep thinking about it because you can't let it go. And of course it's so hard to let people go, especially. It's so hard to do that. And trust me, I know the feeling with breakups, friendship breakups, but it comes to a point where even you recognise it. Maybe people have been telling you that this person is not good for you, whether it's a friend or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whoever it is. People keep telling you that this person is not good for you, but you just ignore it because you love them. You want them in your life. You've been friends forever, or you love them so much with all your heart that you just can't seem to get rid of them. You don't want to get rid of them. But then it has to come from you to realise, actually, this is the turning point. This has happened now. I need to let you go in order to make myself happy and to let you happy, make you happy. And I think that is also the beauty of it. With letting this letting this balloon go into the sky, it's letting them go free and letting you go free as well. And this is definitely the case in relationships when you break up. If it's not like a really shitty kind of breakup when someone's cheated on someone else, or you know what I mean, if it's more of a sad breakup, I'm not just talking about mutual breakups, you know, when they're just not working and you both decide. That was kind of my breakup, but it did come from me, and I did break up with him, and I made the decision, and he was really upset that he wasn't really involved with the decision, and I just wanted him out of my life in a way. It wasn't quite like that. It was a very, very sad breakup because we both knew it was coming. I knew it was coming way before, and it was just sad that it ended because it didn't need to end if we'd both been honest and we communicated with each other. And that's the thing, like, you cannot hold on to things unless you make them the best thing that they are, or the best thing that they can be, you know. And we didn't try hard enough. It was both of us, and the balloon died, you know. We both just couldn't do it anymore, and especially me, I just couldn't do it anymore. And that took me so long to realise. You can't just hold on to this kind of one thing, this one person in your life, because eventually that person will go, eventually that relationship will end. And especially in relationships, you can become so kind of tied into this relationship, so focused on it that you don't see your friends as much, you don't spend time with other people because you want to spend time with this one person. So then when that person goes, you feel so alone, even though you do have all these friends, but you've just not realised it all this time. So you have to make room for other people in your life. You've got to have the room to encounter something new. You can't just be holding on to this one thing, and it's not just about people, it's also about things with jobs and even grudges that you have. You cannot be holding on to these things. At the beginning of the episode, I was talking about the drama I had over the weekend. I'm not going to talk about what the drama was, but I had this drama and I've been thinking about it a lot this week, and it's really brought me down because it wasn't that deep, to be fair. Like, the drama just kind of happened, and it's just made me think a lot about myself and my previous actions, and I just kind of was just feeling a bit shitty about myself for the last few days. And then I've realised today that no, I don't need to. Like, I didn't start the drama, for one. It wasn't my fault. And two, like, there's no point in holding on to it, because it's not going to do anyone any good, because there was a lot of people involved in it, and I keep texting them about it, and they're like, Ellie, stop, like, there's no point in keep going on about it, because you can't change it, it's happened. And then this person has now lost a lot of their friends, so, you know, it's what's happened, we move on, whatever, okay? So you do have to let things go, and you might be thinking, well, what are the benefits of letting things go? Like, beyond like what I've been saying about it's good for you, but how is it good for you? And I do have a long list here, so we're going to go through it one by one. First of all, as I've said, it allows for that emotional healing and growth. So when you're in this isolation phase in your healing journey, you are going to have to let people go. You're going to have to let them go, and it's up to you or not whether you have that conversation with them. You don't owe them an explanation. That is the biggest thing. Like, you do not owe them anything. If they say that to you, then they're not your friend. Friends should understand it, especially in this day and age. Like, a lot of people are going through this kind of self-discovery journey. Like, a lot of people understand it, and if they don't understand it, then they're not your friend if they don't get it. Okay, like, if you do just not speak to someone ever again and block them and all that is a bit unfair on your part, but you don't have to like owe them an explanation, because I'm talking about people who no longer serve you, and they probably know it as well. Deep down, they probably know that you've not been friends for a while. Have a conversation with them if you want to. If not, just let it drift away slowly. And people change, people move on. Like, you don't have to break up with everyone. You know what I mean? Like, it can just happen naturally. And that's what happened with me and my best friend, who, you know, we ended up on a bad term as well. We did fall out. But again, that wasn't my fault. It wasn't up to me. So I've just said, I'm not putting the energy in. I'm not going to text her back. I'm not going to go see her. I'm just letting it kind of fizzle out. And that's the best thing I can do. I don't owe her an explanation, and I don't want to speak to her, because I'm going through this journey right now that I need only positive energy in my life, and she was not positive energy. And if she understands that, if she doesn't, you know, that's up to her. And of course I feel bad for kind of letting her go from my life. I've known her since I was 2 years old. Of course it's going to hurt, but I'm moving on, and I hope she is too. I've not spoken to her, I don't know. I hope that she's doing good as well. If you're listening to this, I hope you're fine. I'm sorry, it wasn't really my doing, but, you know, we're both moving on with our lives now. We're both being mature about it, I hope. Another big thing with this is that it does prevent that kind of conflict and resentment from building up. You know, like when you, so in a relationship, when you have all this conflict in a relationship, right? And it's building up, and there's just more and more each time. Letting it go is the best thing you can do. That's what I decided with my relationship. There was just too much drama in it. There was too much, well, not drama, but there was just too much conflict between us, and it just was not working. So I thought, why go through this again with another argument, with another piece to the puzzle? You know, I'm just like, no, this is it. We're gone. So if you get that feeling that it's time to let someone go, then you have to do it. Like, you can't hold on to it anymore, because that's just going to make you feel shit about yourself. And then the other person doesn't know why you're acting weird, you're feeling shit. It's because you don't want to be with them anymore. And it's so sad, and it's so hard to finally act on that. But you've got to do it straight away. And I made this realization. I mean, I made it back in January, then back in May, and eventually in November. But we had this one argument, and I've said this before, but we had this one argument on the Friday night, I think. And then on the Monday, I then saw my friend who was there when all this happened. We went on like an all-day walk around town, and we just said, right, I need to break up with him. And we made this whole plan, and then I did it the day after, and it felt good, and it felt so good to just rip the band-aid off. And with this, it does hurt, right? And you've got to want to do it. You've got to be in the mindset to do it. But you just got to do it at the end of the day. As I've also said, letting other people go kind of fosters healthier and more positive connections with others in your life, because you've made room and time for them now after letting that other person go. And this is so relevant also to hobbies and like things in your life. And what I mean by things, I don't know, maybe you've put all this time and energy into this job that you actually hate, and by finally letting that go, you can open up new opportunities for other jobs, for other hobbies, for other things to come into your life. Again, it's that whole positive energy, attraction law, all of that. If you put positive energy out, you're gonna get it back. It's simple physics at the end of the day, whether you believe in the spiritual stuff or not. It is simple physics, okay? So if you put out that positive energy by saying, wait, I actually hate this job. I know that's not positive, but the revelation is positive when you're saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something that excites me and that I want to do. And that's what letting go is all about. It's not just about people, but that's kind of my main point to this episode is about people, but you can apply it to anything in your life, really. but you're going to build better connections with everyone else. And since I broke up with my boyfriend, since I let go of my eating disorder is another example. You're letting go of something that's been in your life for so long, and you finally let it go and you're free. But doing both of those things has made me so much closer to my mum, for example, to my sister as well, to my friends at uni, especially, first year at uni, I said before that I was just a nobody. I was a vessel. I was not a person because of my eating disorder. Second year, I came out my shell completely because I wanted to party, I wanted to socialise, I wanted to do all these things. Now it's the exact same thing, that I'm single, I'm free. It's not about being single, but I'm just free, and I don't have any other commitments, I guess, with my ex. So I can just go down and see people whenever I want to and have fun and not worry about him thinking I'm cheating on him on a night out. Red flag. But anyway, I'm not talking about him in that way. I'm not going to cause drama on this, but you know what I mean. So I can kind of do what I want now that I'm free, and it's all about that being free and back in control, and but also not needing that control anymore. You know what I mean? Letting go of that as well. It also kind of frees up your mental and emotional energy, and I talk about energy so much. Holding on to things, as you know, drains your energy, and it's so annoying. Like, you keep thinking about this person or this thing, this drama, whatever it is, and you just have no energy. You don't sleep, you don't eat, you're like not looking after yourself, you're not showering in some cases. I know when I'm in a really bad position where, like, I don't know, like my mental health is so low because I'm holding on to things, whatever it is, my hygiene goes out the window as well. And I think that's so important to remember, that everything goes tits up when you're in this state of holding on and staying in your comfort zone and not wanting to move out of it. Another thing is that letting go of things promotes this inner peace, and I love the term inner peace. Neela, if you're listening to this, I love you because you taught me this term and I love it. It's all about finding that peace inside you, that you're happy with yourself, that you're happy with where you are, with who you are. And letting go of this stuff promotes that, because you're letting go of all the negativity in your life, and you're just left with you and what you love to do and who you love to see and who you want to be around. It reduces the burden of holding on to these negative emotions and people who no longer serve you. And that's what this is all about. You've really got to learn who is there for you, who wants to be in your life, who is willing to put in the energy to be in your life, who wants you, and ultimately, who do you want in your life? You don't have to reciprocate that energy if you don't want to. Again, this drama is something to do with this. One person really wanted me in their life. I didn't want them in my life, and now they're not in my life at all, and I'm not in theirs. And you know, like, that was their own doing, basically. Is, you can maybe fill in the lines there, but I did not want this person in my life, and I've let them go, and I'm happy about that. It ended on bad terms, but that was my terms because I just didn't want any more drama. You know what I mean? Okay, anyway, moving on. It also allows for a more optimistic, forward thinking, forward focused mindset. It allows you to think, wow, I'm free, like, I feel good, I feel positive, I've been holding on to this person, this thing for so long, and you finally think, yeah, like, I can do this. And that's all positive, confident thinking, and that's what you deserve, and that's what this whole journey is all about. And I'm sure you know that by now by listening to my voice go on and on and on about it. And one last thing, letting go of things also allows for the acceptance of imperfections and uncertainties. Maybe you don't want to let this person or thing go because you're scared of being alone, or you don't like the unknown after this person is out of your life. You don't know if after a breakup, you don't know how long you're going to be single for, you don't know if anyone else is going to love you the way that they do, blah blah blah. Like, there's so many uncertainties, but this is all about moving out of your comfort zone. And this is what letting go of people is all about, because you don't want to start again, you don't want to find new friends, you don't want to find a new boyfriend, girlfriend, you don't want to find a new job, a new coping mechanism. For example, with eating disorders, you don't want to find these new things to do. Like, you want to stay where you are, but that's just draining you. And maybe you feel it right now, like you are just being drained by this person or this job or whatever it is, and you just need to get out of it. So this is your sign now to do that thing. And if you really, I'm not convincing you to break up with your partner or your friends or whatever, or leave your job. I'm not convincing you to do that. But really think, like, does this thing serve me? And get a pen and paper now, like, do a little journal prompt and say, what serves me, what doesn't? What do I like doing in my life? What do I want more of in my life? Who do I actually like out my friends? Who don't I like? And that really does some good searching for you to realise, okay, I need to make these changes. And that's absolutely okay with you. Maybe, okay, explain it to your friends, explain it to those people that you don't want to see. But if you've actually realised that they are a very toxic person, they don't really deserve an explanation, is what I'm going to say. But that is up to you again. Anyway, I hope this episode did help you, and I feel like it's a much structured episode compared to usual, so I'm quite proud of that. But yeah, thank you to James Corden. You're probably not listening, but if you are, thank you, because that quote really inspired me, and it inspired me to do this episode, as well as to think about, again, what I want in my life. And I'm in the place now where it's such an exciting feeling, and this is what life should all be about, like these new opportunities, letting go of the dead weight, you know, and it should just open up doors for you. That's what life is all about. You can make it completely your own. So anyway, I hope you had a good Valentine's Day as well. I didn't. I don't have anyone on Valentine's Day, but it was a lot better than last year's, because last year's I had a boyfriend, and he finally, eventually, at like 7 p.m, said to me, I should take you out to dinner, shouldn't I? And I was like, great. And I was at his house at uni. All the other girlfriends were there, because he lived with loads of other guys, and all the girlfriends were there. They had presents, they had home cooked meals, they went out for the day. I sat there just watching him play Xbox all day. Okay, yeah. And then, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but it's quite a funny story actually. So he finally took me out for dinner. He took me to a pub that we went to all the time. Great food though, not that expensive. But there was like no one in there because it was Valentine's Day. We just sat, ate a pizza. Cool. Like, it was a great time. Like, I enjoyed my pizza, sure. He paid for dinner. Then he said, oh, the football's on. I was going to say rugby then. If it was rugby, I wouldn't have minded. The football's on. Let's go to the SU and watch the football. Oh, and you can buy the drinks because I paid for your dinner. All night we were there. I was very hungover the next day. You should not be hungover on the day after Valentine's Day. You know, maybe you should have a few drinks, but you shouldn't get absolutely bladdered, and we did. And we had an argument again. So that was my Valentine's Day. Yesterday I spent it ill and working. So yeah. And I watched Saltburn last night. I recommend it. It's one of my favourite films, to be fair. It is very weird, but it's a great film. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with another little update on that. And yeah, I hope you have had a good week though, and I hope you are going to continue to have a good week. I'm going to London this weekend to watch the ABBA Voyage thing with my mum, my sister, and my brother's girlfriend. I'm just going to have a really cute night of it. And yeah, that's going to be my little weekend. Very fun weekend ahead. And I've been summoned to go down partying with my sister tonight. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I've got work in the morning and I'm ill, but I'm not going to pass up a party, so I think I might end up going down, but I'll keep you posted on that. Anyway, have a really good evening with whatever you're doing, and I'll speak to you very soon. Goodbye.